It was the site of Olympic events. 15 million plus visitors come to this place yearly. It was the site of a free concert by Janis Joplin and has the first statue of Thomas Jefferson. And it was the first in the country, predating the one in Washington, D.C. by 3 decades. Where is it? You'll find out on St. Louis in Tune. Welcome to St. Louis in Tune, and thank you for joining us for fresh perspectives on issues and events with experts, community leaders, and everyday people who make a difference in shaping our society and world. I'm Arnold Stricker, along with co-host Mark Langston. Greetings to you, Mark.
And salutations. Yes.
Oh, yes.
All that kind of thing.
All that kind of wonderful language like that.
Good to
improving
be with
our
you.
vocabulary.
Yes. Well, we'll have vocabulary words later in the show, won't we?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Yes, we will.
I like vocabulary words.
Folks, we're glad that you joined us today. We want to thank our sponsor, Better Rate Mortgage, for their support of the show. You can listen to previous shows at stlintune.com, where you can follow us and even leave a review. And Mark, before we get to our thought to ponder, I wanted to mention some events that are coming up this weekend. And if you're listening to this show, you can catch this. It will be June the 20th. So it is the World Refugee Day celebration. And since we broadcast from the International Institute of St. Louis, they are having a Festival of Nations kind of quasi-celebration on this World Refugee Day. And you can catch that at the Four Hands Brewing Company on 1220 South 8th. The cost is free and open to the public. And folks, that's in St. Louis. So if you're out of state and you want to travel to St. Louis just for that particular event, you can do so.
Come on by. We'd love to have you on the...
Come on down.
Yeah.
And the time is not listed here. So not quite sure what that is.
It's an all-day thing.
It could be.
We'll be there all
World
day.
Refugee Day is an all-day thing.
It's an all-time thing. That's right.
So we've got an interesting thought to ponder today. It's by a gentleman who's well-known in the, what I would say, the park industry and the nature industry, John Muir. In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks. In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks. And if you've ever walked through the park that we're talking about, which I just gave the answer to, it's Forest Park. All of my intro was about Forest Park in St. Louis. We're celebrating the 150th anniversary of the park. And in studio, we have Amanda Doyle and Cameron Collins here to talk about their book celebrating the Forest Park 150th. It's Forest Park, St. Louis's gathering places since 1876. And it's just a great book. Amanda and Cameron, welcome to St. Louis in Tune.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, folks, I want to give a little bio here. Amanda is a Midwestern transplant. She's the author of 12 previous books, from neighborhood guidebooks to a compendium of St. Louis music history.
Wow, 12?
Compendium. There's my vocabulary word for you.
Oh, my God. I'm going to have to
We've
look
got all
that up.
kinds of big words on St. Louis in Tune. Her website is amandaedoyle.com. And Cameron Collins is the author of 2 editions of Lost Treasures of St. Louis, the co-author of St. Louis Brews, The History of Brewing in the Gateway City, 3rd edition, and Scenes of Historic Wonders, St. Louis. He's also the creator of Distilled History, a St. Louis history and drinking blog that was named the Riverfront Times Best Personal Blog in 2013, and his website is distilledhistory.com. Cameron, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So this is this book is, folks, it's hot off the press at Reedy Press, reedypress.com. And it's so hot that the pages, when I got the book yesterday, Mark, it was kind of glowing. And they said, just watch the ink doesn't run too fast, on there.
You might have gotten the radioactive copy. I'm a little worried about that.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Handle with gloves, maybe.
And for the radio, that's fine. It's
That's
radioactive.
Oh, no.
That's why he glows in the dark.
I've got a question. Since both of you are out of towners, you're not natives to St. Louis like Mark and myself.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first time you visited Forest Park, and what were your impressions?
Wow, what a question.
I'm letting Cameron go first because he has an awesome meet cute story about him in Forest Park. So go ahead.
So I grew up in upstate New York, a little city named Elmira. I went to college at the University of Dayton in Ohio. And when I graduated, my parents flat out refused to let me move home. And so my best friend from Dayton convinced me to move to St. Louis. And my first time coming to St. Louis, I was being driven down Highway 40 with the destination being my new apartment in Baldwin, of all places. And I had never been to Baldwin before.
Oh.
And with all due respect to that lovely community, it was not where a 25-year-old wanted to live.
No.
But as we drove, I looked on my right and I saw the St. Louis Zoo and I saw this magnificent park. And on my left, I saw this cute little neighborhood that I would later learn to become Dogtown. The Pat Connolly Tavern was right there. And I vowed I'm going to live in one of those little apartments.
Cool.
And I did. About maybe a year later, I was in one of those apartments and I had Forest Park like unfurled from my door.
Oh, wow.
And it was the best few years of my life. I loved it.
Forest Park was your front and backyard.
It exactly was.
Did it remind you of Central Park in New York at all?
No, and I do have a lot of experience with Central Park. I didn't grow up in the city, but my dad was from New York. And it's a wonderful place, but it just has a different vibe. You can't drive in Central Park. It's smaller.
Yeah, it's
a
smaller.
fact that New Yorkers really don't realize.
Yeah. And it doesn't have all the cultural institutions
Right.
that we have here. And it just has but they're both wonderful parks and
Yes.
they're both wonderful in their own way.
Yes. Amanda.
I'm trying to remember the first time. I feel like probably I came to the various institutions. I think I visited the zoo was the first thing that and that was when I was in college in Columbia. And it took me a while to and I think maybe this is a common experience. It took me a while to see the rest of the park in between,
Mhm.
like I knew the zoo and I knew the art museum, the science center, Steinberg Rink, but seeing the interstitial part that is the park, all of that stuff. It took me a long time to kind of appreciate that that's really what's holding it all together. That's the common factor. So
I think it's kind of like executive function with your brain. When you get older, executive function kicks in. I think it's like, for me, and maybe for you, Mark, too, executive function of the park. And what you were mentioning, that you really don't appreciate it until you get older and you can see the vast opportunities and the richness that it can give.
yes,
to the
and all the
community.
connection in
Yes.
between things that you
Yes.
maybe thought of as separate before.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I'm going to jump right into it here. Big ahas for you guys. Like, I was looking at this, and when I heard about the free concert by Janis Joplin, I was like, holy smokes.
I don't remember that at all.
I don't either.
Oh, I'm sure no one who
no.
was even there remembers it. I mean, it's 1968. Somebody told them they were at that show. So the story is, and there is actually, there's some video on YouTube, but it does not have audio. There's little snippets of it, but the story, as we've been able to find information, she had played a show the night before at Kiel, if I'm remembering that right.
That's correct.
And it didn't go as long as the fans wanted. I think she went on late. There was kind of like people were unsatisfied.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next day she and her band pulled up at the World's Fair Pavilion. Word had kind of spread amongst people that this might be going to happen. And they played just a flat out free show at World's Fair Pavilion for all the long hair hippies who hadn't had enough the night before.
Right.
Which is incredible.
That was
know?
Mark and myself.
I had long hair.
Yeah, you did.
It's funny you say the World Fair Pavilion. I forgot they did free concerts there every Sunday or something.
Yeah.
Saturday or Sunday.
There are some really great there's
was
some
great
great
art.
images of just out there.
Great artists came.
Forest Park Forever has a really good blog section on their website that's not super often updated, but really good in-depth stuff there. And they have a story about the Janis Joplin concert and then a bunch of pictures of other shows that happened. But yeah, we think, Lou Fest and Evolution Fest are kind of the first music we had in the park, but there was Keishi had shows there. There was a Rush show in the park.
Right. Right. That's right.
All kinds of stuff like that. So that's
I do
cool.
remember that. Yeah.
There you go. That. You got one in your pocket at least.
I do.
Cameron, what's big aha in doing the research for this book?
My favorite fact is, and probably my favorite fella is Hiram Leffingwell. He was the guy that really had the vision for Forest Park. And if he would have gotten his way, the park would have been twice as big.
Right.
He envisioned a 3,000 acre park instead of being today 1,371
Yeah, WashU wouldn't be where it is.
Right.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
That'd be the park.
That's a big park.
That's
Yeah.
a big park. Yep.
That's a really big
I mean, it would have, probably would have extended maybe to Big Bend,
Oh, sure.
going west. And, and also just that many people found it absurd, the idea of where they put the park. It was far away from the city center,
Right.
in St. Louis in the 1870s, that everything was still pushed up against that river. And it was, I love the term, the ridiculous out of the way stretch of woods is where Forest
Yes.
Park was. And they discussed putting it in different places. They, but as Amanda tells the story, it turned into kind of a real estate deal.
Right.
And there were people involved with names that we know today, like Forsyth and DeMunn and Skinker, who had land out there. And, but over throughout all the discussions and legal battles and so forth, we ended up with 1371, and history was made.
I love
He
it.
he got shut down the first time.
He did.
Talking about this park, and then what is it? 20 years later, or something like that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was 15 or 20 years for sure.
Yep. He initially it started in the 1850s. When
And then there was kind of some dust up about selling bonds for funding
Yeah,
this, but
we
then
have
that went to court.
we have a great photograph in the book. We have a
Yes.
mutual local historian friend who lent us this artifact that he has purchased that was a sheet of redeemable coupons.
Right.
So you were purchasing a bond to kickstart the construction of the park, and then you were going to be able to turn in your coupons for $6 return every month or whatever.
Kind of like S&H Greenstein.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I thought when I saw it. Set of knives, if you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
land.
that was later deemed to be not the way it was going to happen. The state legislature was involved with a lot of the creation of the park and how it was all going to go down. So
I love that park. I grew up off of Big Bend, right down Forsyth. So we spent a lot of time in that park as a kid. There's a waterfall right there by Skinker. We used to swim in
Mhm.
that, and we used to ice skate on the lagoons. And there's
Mhm.
nothing like it. And I think people still do it today. And I would, if you guys ice skate, I would tell you to try it when it gets really cold and you know that you're not going to fall through. But boy, it's fun.
so how many kids in your family, Mark?
Just two.
Okay, we did a talk for the Landmarks Association a couple weeks ago, and somebody in the audience was saying, when I was a kid, like we were there all the time. She
Right.
said, I was one of 11 kids, and there was so much free stuff to do in the park, and I was like, your
Yeah.
mom was like, go find free things, 11 children. See you
Right,
later,
right.
paying for
Yeah.
anything.
Sounds like the Hartricks in our neighborhood. They had 11 kids.
Oh, could have been.
Catholic. It's Catholics.
And Forest Park Forever has done some wonderful things, because on Art Hill, the golf course used to go right
Mhm.
through.
Right.
There was a hole that went right through there.
Still go to art.
There was,
when it snows.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They used,
But
we
not
used
to play
build-
golf down there.
No, we used to build fires and everything there
Yeah,
too to stay
yeah.
warm. I don't know that you can do that now, but the curbing was all torn up. The park was really in disrepair.
Yeah.
Until Forest Park Forever really kind of
Mhm.
came on and has rejuvenated and is keeping it up. Matter of fact, I want to mention, if you're not comfortable skating on one of the ponds, you want to go to Steinberg,
Oh,
where
right,
the
right.
ice is probably maybe 3/4 of an inch thick,
Right.
and you won't drown if you happen to go through the ice.
Well,
And they're renovating that to make
Well,
that into.
I was
some-
going to say, talk
a
about Forest Park
concert
Forever.
pavilion.
It is turning into, they are re-envisioning that whole side of
Yes,
the park.
that's
It's going to
correct.
be incredible. And one of the things that's going to be awesome, even though it's not that sexy, I guess, is they're improving the access across Kings Highway. Because if
Yes.
you think about
Crossing
the whole
Kings Highway.
east side of Kings Highway, right? There's
Right.
thousands and thousands of people who want to get to the park, and it's right now it's kind of a pain. So
It is.
Mhm.
And
That's
they've linked
good.
all of the waterways together, I believe, now. So all
Yeah.
of the waterways are connected.
Yeah. See, when we used to ice skate, it was terrible. You would go round and round like, but when we get on those lagoons, you just go straight and go forever.
yeah,
It's a little bumpy, but it's but fun. I highly recommend it. Put those skates on, Arnold. I want to see you skate.
I have been. I learned to ice skate before I learned to roller skate.
I never roller skate. Did you guys roller skate?
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I love to roller
Okay.
Elmira, New York, Joey Crest skating rink.
Oh,
Oh,
mine
my.
was Skateland South. All right.
Okay.
Had those roller skates that you actually attach to your
Shoes.
leather shoes.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
Mhm.
that's
Those
how
are
old,
fancy.
You know,
No, not them.
Mark
They're
and
younger than you are. They had the ones with the blades on them.
No, I could never master that.
No, okay.
No. I need some grounding. One plane of existence is not going to work. I need four things on the
Four
ground.
things, okay. Took
So-
an exit ramp there, Arnold. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine. So when did you start working on this book?
Oh gosh, what year is this? 2026.
Mm-hmm.
So 2024-ish, I feel like.
That's when we started talking about it.
That's what we did a lot of talking.
I do
Did you-
remember.
How'd you guys get together on that too? That's part of that. Keep going. Gang.
Yeah, well, I remember bumping into Amanda in a Schnucks months and months ago, and I was like, "Hey, aren't we supposed to be writing a book?" And
Great.
but what's great is Amanda and I have actually known each other for years. We both, of course, were in the stable of Reedy Press authors, and so I do remember the first time we met was at
Christmas party.
it was at the Royale,
Yeah.
which is our home base. That's where we did a lot of it's where we wrote most of the book, was in
Yeah.
a bar. And
What's your background? Though, isn't it?
yeah.
You're like, I want to see all your tabs. What are
Right.
your tabs for the last year and a half?
And so I will tell you, I thought I was done writing books. I have a day job and it's just a lot of work. And Amanda called me up one day a couple years ago and said, hey, I wrote the Tower Grove Park book, and I want to write this book about Forest Park, and I want to write it with you. And so I was like, only one person can bring me out of retirement, and that's Amanda Doyle. So yeah, and I'm just grateful because it's been so fun, and it's fun talking about Forest Park.
Yeah.
It's
For
a
sure.
great book. I've just
Yeah.
finally got hot off the presses and
Yeah.
got a chance to look through it. It is great.
It is.
I mean, I just stopped and started reading. I go, wait, I don't have time to do that.
Mhm.
But it's really a great book.
And I've never heard of this. The pageant and
Oh, and masks.
Masks of St.
Yeah.
Louis.
Stories.
There are that's it. So that was kind of post World's Fair. Of course, a lot of people think of the World's Fair as like that was the shining moment of not just the park, but of St. Louis. But it was, St. Louis kind of got a taste for large events in the park after that, for big public civic celebrations. And so this pageant and mask was a city-driven project to like celebrate, just the tiny thing, like everything we know about history from the beginning of time until today in 1914. And so there was a cast of 7,000 volunteers. There were hundreds of thousands of people who came to see it over the course of a couple of evenings. It's just the kind of thing that you almost wonder, like, could we pull something like this off now? But it was really an incredible moment for the park and for people's idea of what you would go to do in the park, that you could go to like a huge event like this.
it was a celebration of the 150th anniversary of the founding of St. Louis.
Yep. And they had people representing Greek mythological characters
Wow.
and native tribes and early explorers and all kinds of stuff.
Are the Kennedy Woods still in Forest Park? Named after.
Heck yeah. And
Okay.
and so originally they were really just it was called the Wilderness. Of course, they didn't get Kennedy's name in Kennedy Forest until after his presidency. But actually, the Kennedy Woods is probably the closest part of the park today that looks like its original landscape. Where
Yeah.
I'm amazed by it. If you walk into Kennedy Woods today, you can feel like
You're in the woods.
you're in the woods.
Yeah.
You're in.
Yeah, it's
you're-
amazing. It was like that when we used to go through. But go ahead.
Mhm.
Sorry.
But yeah, and that's something I love about the park so much is you can go from that feeling of I'm in the wilderness and take a few steps and you're, in front of the St. Louis Art Museum or,
Right.
Playing handball or going to the planetarium.
Yep.
Whatever. It's all within, that span of acreage, which is pretty cool.
And I also want to mention, I love this period of St. Louis history in the latter half of the 1800s, where you had these people in St. Louis who were just, convinced that St. Louis was the next great city of America. And, you had people like Leffingwell saying, we need a park on scale with Central Park. We want that World's Fair. We want and we had guys like Logan Rivas saying they should move the capital to
Right,
St.
Because
Louis.
there was a big press to do that.
There was actually a convention, and but the eastern states simply said, well, we don't want that, so we're not going to show up. So the vote was lost. But they had plans to tear down like the White House and the Capitol and rebuild it on the grounds of Jefferson Barracks. And, so there's so much St. Louis in Forest Park, where this grand scheme plan, and you started even to mention as well, is like, but it's still St. Louis. So the wheels are going to come off a little bit here and there, you know?
This is Arnold Stricker with Mark Langston of St. Louis in Tune. We're talking about Forest Park, St. Louis's gathering place since 1876. It's a new book out by Reedy Press, and we have authors Amanda Doyle and Cameron Collins in studio. This enduring nod to great St. Louisans, I have never heard of that, and I've never seen that.
Okay, so I had to go look in. I'm glad I'm not the only one. So there's an award given every year called the St. Louis Award, and I will say, I do see it, like I'll see it in the paper when it happens, given this year or two, and it's sort of who has been the greatest like influence in the community in the last year or whatever.
Have you gotten this award yet, Arnold?
Yeah, right.
I know
I haven't gotten it.
Clearly, we haven't.
Okay.
They've lost all of our numbers.
Yes.
But I
Help
read
us
about
out.
it, and then I read that they don't give the individual a plaque or whatever, but there is a permanent monument in the park that is sort of the award for everyone. So I literally parked my car and went looking because I knew it was somewhere near the base of the World's Fair Pavilion Hill.
Okay.
And that's where it is. It's in a little grove of pine trees, and the statue itself, the sculpture, is called Pine, and it's this stylized, like rusting corten kind of, pine tree, abstract pine tree.
Huh.
But now that I've seen it, Arnold, I'll tell you this: I can't not see it. Once it's there.
Right.
So every time I'm driving, I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
But I've walked and driven and run by it 1,000 times and never knew it was there.
That's the thing. You can drive through and your eyes are catching different things. Walking or riding your bike is a whole nother thing.
Yep.
And it kind of gets you back to those places, kind of like the Turner Memorial, or you're going to see like the up by the Jewel Box, the ruins of the front of one of the places,
Vandeventer Place.
Vandeventer Place, right? Unless you get out and there's
Yeah.
a plaque and read that.
Oh, there's plenty of
You don't
things in
know.
Forest Park that I'm sure most people don't have any idea are there and maybe you just always go to the Muni and that's all you do in the park, so you know that route,
Right.
but you have never seen the things that are just around the History Museum. There are a bunch of plaques on the sidewalk called History Underfoot, and they're just little factoids about different things, and unless you were walking, you literally wouldn't see it. So there's quite a lot there.
And how about one of my favorite things that you can only see while walking is the entrance to the River de Pere, which was routed underground in Forest Park.
Where's that?
It's off of walking the loop, kind of near the hatchery.
Kind of
right?
near the fish hatchery. And you would never know it's there. It's literally just like a grate
The fish hatchery.
on the ground.
I'll be.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people who have never seen the fish
It
hatchery.
looks terrifying. It doesn't look like something you'd want to go walking down
Right.
into, but that's how they get down there if they need to.
I had no idea.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to have to off air. I'm going to have to find that spot. I always thought that happened at kind of in University City. That was the kind of the entrance back in there, and then they went under Skinker and into the park.
Mhm.
Hmm.
There could be another entrance.
Yeah, that's the one that's in the park that we know of. So
Yeah.
they're not advertising it. I'll tell you that. I don't think
Okay.
they want people
We'll
exploring.
We'll need to delete this this
Yes,
portion of
please
the show.
eat this
Why?
podcast
Oh,
once
yeah.
it's
Okay. Wow. Okay. You had mentioned the fair, the World's Fair. So I grew up really close, and we used to drive down Forest Park Expressway,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and the old. Do you remember the old
Concrete?
wall?
Yeah.
The old concrete wall. I miss it, and I just finally noticed, how they rebuilt it, and they have like little indentations where you used to be able to look through the wall. They had these long, but they filled those in. It's just it's not the same to me.
Without the little spy holes.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
kind of like long. You couldn't get a body through it, but you could. But you
But
could,
you could try.
but you could look through and see what was going on with the World's Fair, and it was all along there. And I was talking to somebody about it, and they didn't even know. What do you mean there was a wall here? I said, well, they tried to replicate the wall.
Yeah, it's
they
not a
did.
very good job.
No, they didn't. It wasn't. Yeah.
There's so much. That's one of the great things about the fair history in the park. There's so much lore and things people think happened and things that really did happen. And it's an unending source of conversation about.
But the hot dog was that invented at the World's Fair?
Was not.
Wait, he's saying no.
Ice cream.
Cameron's
Ice cream
saying
cone.
no.
And we actually have a section in our presentation. If anybody's wanting to hear us talk about this, we actually have a myth busting section.
Ooh.
Oh, come on,
I
Cameron.
know it's
Cut
no,
it
it's no
out.
fun, but the hot dog, it's possible that it gained popularity as a result of the fair, but it was not invented there. But
Oh,
we do have
I'm
the,
crushed.
the waffle cone is true. That one's good.
Yeah.
And then the other big myth that we even at one of our presentations, somebody pushed back on us, is that the axle for the Ferris wheel is buried
Right.
in the park somewhere. That is also false. So
But not
Yeah.
according to one woman that I met 2 weeks ago. She's convinced that I'm
Yeah.
wrong and she's right. And I was like, you know what? I wasn't there. So I mean,
Right.
could be.
That's good.
Let's see.
Sorry, Arnold.
She going to get her
That's all right.
metal detector out?
I heard they
Like-
put the whole Ferris wheel. They buried the whole thing, not just the axle, but the whole thing.
I mean,
That's what
if you
I
want to
heard.
talk about going off the rails, we're not going too far. But can I tell you,
Go
there
ahead.
is a whole conspiracy theory involving an ancient race of technologically advanced people called the Tartarians.
I
Go for
had
it.
heard something about this.
Who-
Yeah.
Because that's
Some-
in the book.
Some people say no, it's actually not too much. I think I might have said the word, but I was scared to
Tartarian.
go to. I don't want to bring out the Tartarians against me. But yeah, there's a theory that all of these buildings of the World's Fair were there because they were created by these ancient people and they've been there, and it's a whole. That's a YouTube hole you don't want to go down.
Call home.
Do that in a private browser.
Call home.
we may need to mention that in one of our events. Though.
We might need to. I'm scared.
We have an event coming up at the Royale, stuff that didn't make the book,
Yeah.
Ooh.
and maybe that needs to go.
That'll be later in July.
wow.
Yeah.
Can you give us a teaser?
Oh, sure.
Give us something that didn't make the book.
Yeah. Well, so in the 70s, it's been a while since I've researched this, so let's keep the dates broad. In the 70s, there was a band of roving stray dogs that got into the St. Louis Zoo, and they were going in at night and attacking zoo animals like antelopes, little things they could get to. And they acquired this legendary status, and the lead dog was allegedly a pure white dog that they called the White Ghost.
Hmm.
And St. Louis started like watching, what was going on with this. And the police department was called in to come and help. And apparently we're just firing shots into the zoo to hope they hit a dog.
Oh, there you go.
And actually accidentally shot a zebra.
oh
Oh
my
gosh.
It's terrible.
And the dogs, I guess, eventually went away, but people were writing in letters to the editor saying, like, if the White Ghost is captured, I'll adopt him. Like St. Louis, of course, supported the dogs, right? They were like, these poor animals. So
Sympathy.
yeah, so that'll be in the Forest Park After Dark kind of.
So does
Or
that
some-
mean there's a volume 2? I'm sorry. Of this book?
Yeah, we'll have to print it as like a pulp magazine, maybe that kind of stuff.
Okay.
We'll see.
With
I don't
the
know.
with the white ghost on the front.
Totally. I don't know if that's going to merit the
Yeah,
hardcover book
that's-
treatment. That might be more of a one-off kind of thing. But yeah.
Cameron, what's your that you can reveal?
I still like the handball.
Oh yeah.
I guess and Amanda, you actually did research on this as well, but all the sports and so forth in the park. But I guess like that handball court over there by the visitor center has been the site of some testy competitions, I guess we can say. And wasn't
Mhm.
there a fella that
There was a murder. Yeah, there was a guy who was. I feel like this was I feel like the 70s was really when this is going on. Late 70s, and he was called King Julio. His name was Julio something. He called himself King Julio, but he was like shot when he was leaving the court, and it was unrelated to that. But his main rival in handball that everyone knew, like, then had to kind of stand up and be like, "It wasn't me," and but I am the best handball player now, that kind of thing. So.
Golly.
That's one way to win.
Right.
Whoa.
If I had done it.
Oh my.
Yeah. So yeah, lots of crazy stuff. I mean, it's a big park, so
It is a big
So
park.
what's on the agenda for I know we've got, matter of fact, folks, on the agenda for them. They are going to be traveling all over the place, speaking and talking about the book. I want to give you some dates and some times and locations. June the 20th from noon to 2 p.m. at Barnes & Noble in Ladue. June the 22nd from 1 to 2 p.m. at the Clarendale Clayton. That's free and open to the public. On the 24th of June, which is the anniversary of the park, the actual anniversary, they'll be at the Boathouse from 4 to 7 p.m. On the 22nd of July, they will be at the County Library headquarters at 7 p.m. And September 20th, from 2 to 3:30 p.m. at the Kirkwood Public Library. And I'll put those on the podcast page so you can check those out. Also, where can they check out other dates and times and locations that may occur?
I haven't done it yet, but I will put them on my website. I know that for sure.
And which is?
distilledhistory.com.
Okay.
And then we've got an Instagram page for the book at Forest Park 150, where we're trying really hard to keep it updated, not only with events, but just fun park facts and things that we discovered while writing the book. And also we'll be putting up some of the historical images that either are in the book or just couldn't fit in the book, because there are so many incredible historical photos of the park and things in the park.
Now, let people know, you both have written tons of books. Let people know this is kind of something, a real simple kind of deal, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
What do you mean?
Say more.
It's something that, I can go and I can Google this stuff and I just put it in, throw it into AI and it spits it out for me, and I've got myself a book.
Well, yeah,
and I can put that on Amazon and ebook it, and I can make lots of money.
Well, I think you could do that, but I think doesn't our publisher have an AI checker?
Indeed, they do.
Yeah.
And also, I was with you till the make lots of money part. You could probably sell a lot of books. I don't know if you could make a lot of money. It's expensive to print books, but no, it's, this is the thing. Like in the book, actually, we have an entire bibliography of all the sources that we consulted. This to really have a picture of the whole park, and not just like what happened in the last 150 years. You could Google that, right? But I think what we bring to it and why we work so well together is the context of it. What does this mean? Like, what does this thing that happened in the park have to do with the rest of St. Louis, and how how the city has changed and what has happened in this city in relation to the country, everything, all that context. And just kind of connecting those dots is really, I hope, what we managed to do in the book.
Because you spend a lot of time, Missouri History Museum, other museums,
newspaper archives,
Yep.
State Historical Society, people's stories. A good friend of mine gave me 2 milk crates. Her dad worked for many, many years. He was a union guy in North County, and the unions used to have their own, not only headquarters buildings, but libraries of materials related to whatever. So electrical workers would have, different things. So he had a whole collection of just St. Louis history books that he had accumulated over the years. And she brought me these 2 milk crates from her mom's basement and said, there may be some stuff in here you can use. There was stuff in there I have never seen in any other library that were just there,
Wow.
So just people offering their stories and their photographs and their family, their family picnic pictures and things like that.
Volume
are really
3. That's volume 3.
well, you got us working.
The front of the book.
Yeah,
That is that in front of the Muni? Is that bandstand in front of the Muni?
Yes.
that's
Okay.
it. The Nathan Frank Bandstand.
Is that right? Yeah. And there's a basement to it. Have you seen
seriously.
that? Did you all don't know this?
It's like the basement in the Alamo from
How am
Pee Wee's
I telling
Playhouse.
you
Is it
guys this
underwater?
stuff? No, we went over there once when it was frozen.
There's a lot of hijinks you got up to
I
on
know.
Frozen.
Well, I was a
Okay.
young
But I'm
kid.
getting
We,
ideas too.
we
so-
rode our bikes over there, though. I mean, we'd ride around
On
on
the
our
ice.
bikes. Yeah. But there's if you look at it, if you go along, look at it sometime, and you can see the door that goes down underneath there. And I think the band members, that's maybe their dressing room or whatever it was.
Listen, if there's a basement, we're getting in
There
it.
is. There's a basement to it.
So
There's a lower level. There's,
cool fact about the
it's about as
bandstand.
big as that is. Yeah, I've always loved it. Because, and once you go over and you see it, you want to go back.
Well, now I want to go in the basement.
And I
There
don't
was
know-
a pavilion there before. When the park was built, there was always a music pavilion there, but it looked very different and had like an onion dome looking kind of thing. And
Okay.
it burned down not too long after
Okay.
the park opened, or not too long after the fair. Actually, it was there during the fair. People took pictures. But it's called the Nathan Frank Bandstand
Didn't
because
know that. I never knew
Nathan
that.
Frank was a congressman from St. Louis He was actually the first Jewish elected official in the state of Missouri, I think, definitely in the city.
Wow.
And he donated money to refurbish the bandstand. And that was the first private money donation to the park in history.
So it was always
So-
like that with the moat around it. I guess they take
Yeah,
the band
although-
members over by boat.
They used to have, I've seen before when they have like
I
a
don't-
walkway out there. So I
Did
don't know
they?
if that's for
Okay.
maintenance or
Let's float over in the timpani.
Well, I know.
just
I would have loved to have seen it like in action.
Oh yeah.
I think
Oh,
they
yeah.
should do something over there once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, like before a Muni thing.
Yeah.
Have
That'd
a
be
little
cool.
band over there
Great idea.
playing or something.
That would
You're
be
giving them
awesome.
some ideas. Now, Mark.
Whatever. You know, they're not.
I love how we're still learning. Like we
Yes.
just learned that there's a basement to
Yeah.
the Nathan
Go-
Frank.
There we go.
It's there. I'm telling you.
Okay. Well, while we're talking
It's
about
kind of
that,
spooky. I know.
let's go ahead and do mental floss
oh boy.
because I do have some lesser known fascinating facts about Forest Park.
Oh boy.
Okay, let's go.
And we all know that a major river is buried underneath, the River de Pere. Okay. But did you know that the park contains salvage hotel ruins? If you walk past the scenic ponds near the Muni Opera House, you'll see decorative stone ruins. They are not replica park decorations. They are real salvaged limestone pillars and arches rescued from downtown majestic Lindell Hotel after it burned to the ground in 1867.
Wow.
Keep going.
How about we know about? I thought this was very interesting, and maybe Cameron, you alluded to this. Deep inside Kennedy Forest, located right next to Skinker Boulevard, lies a hidden geographic anomaly called Pine Circle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a perfectly symmetrical ring of towering pine trees that does not appear on standard digital park maps. Locals know it as a secret oasis to lie down on the grass and look straight up into a geometric canopy of green.
Wow.
Yep. That one I knew about.
Wow. That it was almost an airport. In the early 20th century, after the World's Fair, serious proposals were introduced to pave over portions of the park to build a, quote, air landing field, unquote, to accommodate emerging commercial aviation flights right into the center of the city.
Sure. Well, now Charles Lindbergh didn't. I think you have something in the book about Charles Lindbergh when he finally came back. He packed the house, boy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he buzzed that entire crowd out in front of the History Museum,
Yeah,
and
it was packed.
there were air flights there. Briefly, there was a airmail route between St. Louis and Chicago. So where the horse stable is now, the St. Louis Mounted Police
Right.
headquarters is the former airplane hangar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
And Lindbergh
if you
flew
look
that
at it,
route for a
looks-
while.
Looks like an airplane hangar.
Who
Right.
knew? Did you know any of this?
I knew they had done some really short takeoffs, friend. That's where the equestrian place is
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
exactly.
right.
Yep.
That's what you said.
I was reading this thing right here that the World's Fair actually ruined the actual quote unquote forest. They chopped down gazillion trees to make room for the World's Fair and drain its natural wetlands, and it took decades to bring the quote unquote forest back to Forest Park.
And speaking of the trees, what a terrible that
The
tornado.
tornado.
Driving down Lindell, and just, it's like wow, it just is different.
It
Yeah.
It's
looks so
completely-
different.
It
doesn't
is. It's
Mhm.
like wow, it's tremendously different. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah,
it or
yeah,
not.
they've done a good job of putting some really tall replacements in too.
Yeah.
They're not starting with the little saplings.
Yeah,
they're
they
going
told-
like 10, 12, 14
I
feet.
Yeah, they went looking for ones that were
Right,
already
big.
kind of well established,
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
could get
Yeah.
it back as quickly
Yeah,
as
yeah.
possible.
I never noticed really how much those trees really.
Until they were gone,
Right.
And you thought, why is it so bright?
Yeah.
Where's
and
the
why can I
shade?
see so far?
I
I know. Why is that golf ball
Right,
coming this
especially.
way? Yeah, what is-
Want to take a quick break and come back, and I have one final question for our guest. This is Arnold Stricker with Mark Langston of St. Louis in Tune. We'll be right back.
As strange as it may sound, at Better Rate Mortgage, we love talking to people about mortgages. Everyone in St. Louis promises a better mortgage rate, but what you really need to turn that perfect house into your dream home is a better mortgage. At Better Rate Mortgage, we open the door to so much more. So where are you in the home buying process? Researching? Maybe wondering how much you can afford? House hunting? Get a pre-approval from Better Rate Mortgage. Ready to buy? Our team is ready to make your mortgage process fast and easy. Whether you're purchasing your first home or taking cash out to make your dream home even dreamier, our door is open. Come on in and get started today. We'll show you how. Call Sean directly at 314-375-3293 or online at betterratemortgage.com. Remember, at Better Rate Mortgage, a better rate is just the beginning. BetterRateMortgage.com. NMLS ID 40135, an equal housing lender.
This is Arnold Stricker of St. Louis In Tune on behalf of the Dred Scott Heritage Foundation. In 1857, the Dred Scott decision was a major legal event and catalyst that contributed to the Civil War. The decision declared that Dred Scott could not be free because he was not a citizen. The 14th Amendment, also called the Dred Scott Amendment, granted citizenship to all born or naturalized here in our country and was intended to overturn the U.S. Supreme Court decision on July 9, 1868. The Dred Scott Heritage Foundation is requesting a commemorative stamp to be issued from the U.S. Postal Service to recognize and remember the heritage of this amendment by issuing a stamp with the likeness of the man Dred Scott. But we need your support and the support of thousands of people who would like to see this happen. To achieve this goal, we ask you to download, sign, and share the one-page petition with others. To find the petition, please go to dredscottlives.org and click on the Dred Scott Petition Drive on the right side of the page. On behalf of the Dred Scott Heritage Foundation, this has been Arnold Stricker of St. Louis In Tune. Welcome back to St. Louis In Tune. We're talking about Forest Park, St. Louis's gathering place since 1876. This is the 150th anniversary of Forest Park, the greatest park in the United States.
Yeah.
I should say the greatest urban park in the United States. And we're talking to Amanda Doyle and Cameron Collins about this book. You can get it at Reedy Press, folks. Check the podcast page for sites and times and dates where they will be talking about the book, and you can get an autographed copy and listen to what they're going to say. Last question here. There are 7 chapters here. How did you divide up? And each chapter has, at least 10 sub areas. How did you divide up what you were doing here? Did you say, okay, we're going to draw straws on this? Or Cameron, you were like, well, I like the early part of the park. And Amanda, you were like, well, I like the last part of the park. How did you go about doing that?
You kind of hit the nail on the head there. The early years are very Cameron heavy because I love that old history. And the newer years are really Amanda heavy because Amanda had an in with Forest Park Forever. And but also there are funny things where, and she ribs me about this, I have never sledded on Art Hill.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Ridiculous.
What's wrong with
You
him?
lived over in Dogtown.
I know, but I grew up in upstate New York in the Finger
No
Lakes,
kidding.
and I looked at Art Hill and I was like, "That's not a hill." You know?
Yeah,
So,
it is in St. Louis.
so
Rude.
so there were topics where I was like, Amanda, you take sledding because I've never done that. You take ice skating because I'm not a fan. I'll take the birds. And
Yes.
Amanda's rolling her eyes because she's saying, "Oh, he's going to talk about birds now."
All the birds.
But
Oh, yeah.
my number one activity in Forest Park is birding, and you'll see my bird photos throughout the book. And
Cool.
Do you like that bird cage?
I love the cage, but I love Kennedy Woods and the hatchery. Those are my
Ah.
2 favorite birding spots.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it was just us talking to each other and saying, "Hey, I'm going to do this one," or "I'm going to do that one," and it went out great.
Yeah, it's like anything. We made a huge list of kind of all the points we thought we wanted to cover and clumped them where they needed to be historically. And then, you take do the stuff you're excited about first. And then we got down to be like, all right, who's doing this?
Rock, paper,
Somebody's got
scissors.
to. Yeah. But, some of it was natural overlap. You mentioned I had written a previous book about Tower Grove Park. So there's some similarities and like kind of the early vision things that translated well. So yeah, really, I think we both got to do what we wanted to do. And it is funny, I will say, reading back through it, and every vignette doesn't have like my initials or his initials. There are some now that I read and I'm like, did I write that or did Cameron write that?
Same exact thing. I'm like,
Because
I
we
can't
talked
remember.
about it so much, and
Yeah.
we each read each other's stuff as we
Right.
were going. So there are literally some I can't remember who was the one who actually wrote it, but
Well, that's good. I've always wondered when 2 people write a book, is there like this tension? Is this like, oh yeah, you go do, oh, I've always wanted to do that. No, I've really wanted to do that. And you kind of,
There you go.
I will mention that sometimes it was funny where we worked on a common document that was like, that we could both access. And sometimes I would log on to be like, oh geez, Amanda got some work done. I gotta catch up.
same. Yeah.
And sometimes it was just like, well, nobody's written this one yet, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And it's done. And the other one of us would be like, all right, great, that's done. So now we
guess I'll do another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was not we didn't start in 1876 and work our way forward. We just went all over the place. And that does take a little finessing, because you have to be like, well, I can't refer to Leffingwell here when I haven't even introduced him yet, right? So we got to make sure that piece is in place. But I think it all shook out.
And I guess all of the individual parts, like the Playground Festival or Round Lake installed, or all these individual things, are these things you just kind of accumulated and like, we need to write about this, or like, well, these are all the statues in Forest Park, we need to write about these people and not about these people, or what?
I think we kind of went more like, we started with like, what are the obvious, like, we'll look like fools if this is not in the book, so you put like all of the institutions. Well, and we don't just want to say we have an art museum. We wanted to find some specific point in history that would be interesting to talk about the art museum, that kind of thing. But then definitely when we were done with the easy stuff, we went back looking for the holes, and to be like, there's so much water. Like, where are we going to talk about water features in the park, and which ones are the most significant or have the most interesting thing to say?
I even remember a conversation where you and I were talking about, oh, geez, we didn't put this monument in. We probably should.
Yeah.
Since we have this other monument in there. We didn't want monuments feeling left out.
Right.
So,
but at the same time, it's 150 years. They're probably people's favorite part of the park somewhere out there that is not in the book, because you can only do so much, and it's impossible
and
to do
also
everything.
like the dinosaurs next to the planetarium. Like, where did they come from?
Right.
They were originally in a park in Clayton, believe it or not. Where did the red bow on the planetarium start?
Yeah.
And it actually started as a prank.
Right.
So there's lots of cool
little stories.
Cool stories that I love that there was a horse race track when the park was first built.
Really?
Didn't
know that.
And they outlawed horse racing in 1905.
Oops.
So there's just so many great
That and
little
with
stories.
fairgrounds
I
too.
know, right?
Yeah, right. It's real boring after that. Yeah.
Great book, folks. You need to get it. Forest Park, St. Louis's gathering places since 1876. Question about apostrophe S on St. Louis.
Man.
I know that it's technically correct either way. You can do St. Louis apostrophe or apostrophe S.
I have feelings. Do you?
I don't, because we don't have, as authors, we only have so much input. And there's some battles I don't fight.
Yeah.
There you
well,
go.
it's
That's
a battle
good-
we didn't fight. That's not how I do it, but that is the style of our publisher. So
and that's okay.
it's fine.
Because it's technically correct either way.
I know, but it bothers me. But it's
I
okay.
always plan on giving a nice bottle of wine to the graphic designer, because we terrorized that poor person.
But that was so that you're saying we were nice about not fighting about that.
I want this layout different. I want this moved over here. And usually they don't give us a lot of leeway, but this one earned that bottle of wine. So.
How long did it take to do the layout? It looks like it took forever.
Honestly,
like
they
a
work
year.
so quickly. Once they have everything from us, if there were any delays, it was all us getting high resolution pictures or something.
Good
They
for
work
them.
really fast, and we went back and forth a couple times, but I guess you're right. It wasn't worth fighting about one apostrophe S on the
And there
cover.
were some, we lost some battles there too, where we were saying we want this photo.
Yeah,
Nope, we're not putting that in.
that's why they get paid the big bottle of wine bucks, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Wine box. I love it.
That's my favorite part of the process, though, is when you're doing the editing, because you're seeing your work for the first time in that format, and you're like, wow, like it looks so pretty.
It's come to life.
It's come to life.
It's way different than a Word doc, right?
My sister makes fun of me because I call it pretty all the time. The book is so pretty, and but it really does, and I'm so proud of it.
It is.
We
pretty.
are so proud of it.
It is pretty.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good stuff.
Amanda and Cameron, thanks for coming in today.
This is a
Appreciate it.
pleasure. Thank you
you
so
for
much.
having
We're going
us.
to take another quick break, and we'll be right back.
As strange as it may sound, at Better Rate Mortgage, we love talking to people about mortgages. Everyone in St. Louis promises a better mortgage rate, but what you really need to turn that perfect house into your dream home is a better mortgage. At Better Rate Mortgage, we open the door to so much more. So where are you in the home buying process? Researching? Maybe wondering how much you can afford? House hunting? Get a pre-approval from Better Rate Mortgage. Ready to buy. Our team is ready to make your mortgage process fast and easy. Whether you're purchasing your first home or taking cash out to make your dream home even dreamier, our door is open. Come on in and get started today. We'll show you how. Call Sean directly at 314-375-3293 or online at betterratemortgage.com. Remember, at Better Rate Mortgage, a better rate is just the beginning. betterratemortgage.com. NMLS ID score 01335, an equal housing lender. The United States has a strong tradition of welcoming newcomers and refugees. The Welcome Corps is a new service opportunity for Americans inspired to welcome those seeking freedom and safety and in turn help strengthen their own communities. Welcome Corps is a public-private partnership that is inspired by what Americans represent to so many around the world, a beacon of hope and refuge. All it takes is a helping hand. Are you ready to learn more? Contact the International Institute of St. Louis at info@iistl.org or call 314-773-9090. That's info@iistl.org or call 314-773-9090.
This is Arnold Stricker of St. Louis In Tune on behalf of the Dred Scott Heritage Foundation. In 1857, the Dred Scott decision was a major legal event and catalyst that contributed to the Civil War. The decision declared that Dred Scott could not be free because he was not a citizen. The 14th Amendment, also called the Dred Scott Amendment, granted citizenship to all born or naturalized here in our country and was intended to overturn the U.S. Supreme Court decision on July 9, 1868. The Dred Scott Heritage Foundation is requesting a commemorative stamp to be issued from the U.S. Postal Service to recognize and remember the heritage of this amendment by issuing a stamp with the likeness of the man Dred Scott. But we need your support and the support of thousands of people who would like to see this happen. To achieve this goal, we ask you to download, sign, and share the one-page petition with others. To find the petition, please go to dredscottlives.org and click on the Dred Scott Petition Drive on the right side of the page. On behalf of the Dred Scott Heritage Foundation, this has been Arnold Stricker of St. Louis In Tune. Welcome back to St. Louis In Tune. Arnold Stricker with Mark Langston here. Mark, great time with Amanda Ann Cameron. Wonderful book.
It is a wonderful book. I've had a chance to peruse it a little bit, and I'm looking forward to doing the deep dive into it.
Yes, digging into it to find out those things we never knew before.
No, it's a lot of stuff too.
Matter of fact, things we never knew before, days of the day.
Oh, I've got a couple. It's National Fudge Day.
Oh, fudge.
Oh, fudge, I know. Wait a minute. I lost my day. Hold on a second. It is, here we go. It's beer day in Britain. You know, of course, they drink a lot of beer there.
It's every day for them up there in the pubs.
Clean your vents day. Do you ever clean your vents?
No.
Whoa, I know. We do, and it's a really scary thing to do. National Bug Busting Day. Killed a bug in the house today.
Yeah.
Sacred Heart Day. Sneak a Kiss Day. Yep. Let's see. World Elderly Abuse Awareness Day.
Okay.
I know.
Good one.
I do. Let's see. Learning Disabilities Week. National Men's Health Week.
Okay.
I could use more of that. Universal Father's Week with Father's Day coming up.
Okay. Yeah.
The forgotten parent.
it's that commercial where just for mom.
Yes.
I added a tag to that. Too bad for dad.
Too bad for dad. It is. I know. We do get the short end of the stick, don't we?
Yeah. Just for mom. We got it. Worked out for her. Oh,
I
too bad, dad.
Okay. Global Wind Day. That doesn't say what kind of wind, but
wind?
Wind, W-I-N, like breaking wind,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same thing,
Wow.
but that's one of the days that it is.
Wow.
Just a couple more here. I said National Fudge Day, Youth Day. How about that? Bunker Hill Day. I need to research Bunker Hill.
Boston.
And then
Boston.
If your name is Gerald, it's your day, Gerald Day. I've never seen a Mark's Day or an Arnold Day.
No, that's the deal.
I haven't seen an Amanda Day. I haven't seen
crazy.
Cameron Day. Okay, that's
You
what
know,
I got.
There comes an age, Mark, where you don't care how you look in photos anymore. You just want to look good in MRIs, ultrasounds, and CT scans.
That's right.
Let's see. 2 nuns were stuck in a Brooklyn traffic jam when a car of rowdy teenagers pulled up shouting profanities at them. Shocked, Mother Margaret turned to Sister Teresa and said, "They have no respect. Lower your window and show them your cross." Sister Teresa nodded, rolled down the window, and yelled with a fierce New York accent, "Hey, shut your mouths, you punks. Keep acting up and I'll drag you out and beat you. You want a piece of me?" The terrified teens froze. Sister Teresa rolled up the window and asked innocently, "Did that sound cross enough?"
Wow.
So this is a sign in a pharmacy that said, for the employees, customer service is priority number 1. And it dealt with, people who are robbing the establishment. If a robber does enter the pharmacy either through the door or by jumping the counter, do not physically engage with them. Allow them to take what they want. Another bullet point was, if the robber asks for a drug that we do not carry or out of, offer an alternative.
Wow.
A man was injured yesterday playing hide and seek. He is currently in ICU.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
And this is another sign. Be advised, the hands that remove the gum and cigarette butts from the urinal are the same hands that serve your drinks. Please dispose of them in the trash.
Oh, yeah. Why did you mention? Oh, I hope they read the sign. Please wash your hands. Employees. Okay.
And another sign, due to the nature of outdoors and outdoor seating, there may be presence of insects. We are not responsible for their flight and landing patterns. Therefore, we cannot be held accountable if they happen to land on your food, plate, or drink. Please ask to speak to the bug, not management or wait staff, if this happens to you.
Wow.
You have to do these things because people...
Yes, you
I
do,
didn't know that was going to happen like that. I don't know that bugs land on food. What's going on here? It's like, oh, goodness. Well, folks, that's all for this hour. Thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, you can listen to additional shows at stlintune.com, where you can follow us and leave a review. I want to thank Bob Berthasell for our theme music, our sponsor, Better Rate Mortgage, our guests, Amanda Doyle and Cameron Collins, and co-host Mark Langston. And we thank you for being a part of our community of curious minds. St. Louis In Tune is a production of Motif Media Group and the U.S. Radio Network. Remember to keep seeking, keep learning, walk worthy, and let your light shine. For St. Louis In Tune, I'm Arnold Stricker.